What's up, YouTube? My name is Jacob. This is the Awesomesauce. And we got some doozy for you today. So, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, I know I'd introduced toilet seat confessions, and I disappeared. And honestly, I had to grow the beard back. I don't really care what people think, but I didn't like the face without the beard. And I had a bunch of, I had a couple videos filmed, and then I was like, I can't do that because there's no beard. And I just don't look good without a beard. So, we're doing this shit now. And it's kind of funny because I had this video planned out that we're doing today when Endgame came out. And again, because my beard didn't fully come back, here we are. But that's okay. So before we get started, we got a couple things to talk about. So first off, these are going to be called toilet seat confessions. Now the reason for that is because my friend kind of gave me a perspective on the name. Now, when you see in movies where they're talking to a camcorder or whatever, it's technically called a confession where they're confessing and they're bitching. And that's what this is. So, toilet seat confessions it is. Thank you for your input. I do appreciate the suggestions, and they were well heard. But, to me it makes more sense. But again, I still appreciate the communication. Number 2, I got something to show you. Now, I was thinking about making this a second video, but I didn't know what to add to it. So this is just going to be a little bit of a longer video. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is dope. Alrighty guys, so what I'm about to show you, I do apologize, my place is still a mess. We've been slowly going through it, living life as well, but we've been going through our storage stuff, going through boxes. Let me go ahead and show you what we got. Check it out, we got studio set up. Now again, I do apologize because I know it's a little messy, but you know, is what it is. This is where we're going to start doing the talk nerdy to me. This is where we're going to start doing some other stuff. This is going to be the studio setup until, you know, things change. But, you know, I got all my stuff. What I really like, this is all my Dragon Ball Z shit. Now, I'm pretty sure I know what you're saying. Look at those fucking Funko Pops. And you're right. I've really tried to work on a sponsorship deal with Funko, but they won't tweet me back. So, help me out with that. But YouTube, that's the setup. Now let's get back to the toilet seat confession. Shit's dope, right? I finally got everything out of storage. We were setting it up, and that's part of the reason why it took so long too. Because once I came back, I wanted to come back full force with, you know, a studio setting with my talk nerdy stuff. You know, my background here for the toilet seat confessions is a bathroom. My background for talk nerdy is going to be that, and you know, whatever. So YouTube, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the toilet seat confession part of the video. So now, I'm pretty sure by the title you can tell we're going to be talking about some Endgame stuff. Now, particularly, I'm not talking about Endgame, my feelings, anything like that. I know the movie's a month old, it just came out a month ago, and I'm not touching that type of stuff. That's going to be a talk nerdy video. What I'm going to talk about today is something a little more in-depth to Infinity War and Endgame. This is going to be a spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Endgame by now, I don't know what's up, but I'm talking about some specific plot points in Endgame. So please take that to mind if you continue and you watch my video. Initially, the topic of this video was going to be Thanos himself, and the ideology that Thanos had throughout Infinity War and then portions of Endgame. Now, again, when I say portions of Endgame, we've all seen the movie. So with the time heist, they go back in time, collect the Infinity Stones to undo Thanos' snap. Now, a critical plot point is when Nebula and War Machine go to collect the stone from Guardians. I can't remember that stone, but, you know, Power Stone? Power Stone. Yes, Power Stone. I hope. And there's a point, because it's in the past and Nebula is switched sides to the good guy side, the Nebula that's on the bad guy side and that still exists in that time point receives information from her Nebula then. So it causes Thanos to use the time jump thing to come to the present timeline to continue to extract his plan, because he finds out he does what he wants to do, but my toilet seat confession is, how right is Thanos? Because, I mean, again, when I bring up the Endgame plot point, he kind of flips the switch. Instead of, you know, just taking out half of the universe, which is the initial plan in Infinity War, he decides to just destroy the universe and create a new universe at half of what our universe is now. Now, that's not what I'm touching on, because that's like a kind of a flip the script of the initial plot point with Thanos. What I'm talking about is Thanos' initial ideology. So mainly Infinity War, but then the beginning of Endgame before the flippity wobbity tummity wimity stuff. How correct is Thanos with his journey? How correct is Thanos with his ideology? I don't know. It's kind of a subject to talk about. And getting to the point is maybe Thanos was right. Again, I'm not saying he was. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm not really saying that Thanos had a good point. Thanos really isn't doing a bad thing if you break it down. Now, yes, he's wiping out half of the universe, but he's not trying to enslave the universe. He's trying to protect the life that the universe had. I believe it was Infinity War where he says we live in a finite universe, and that's correct. We don't have infinite resources. We don't have an infinite food supply, and population increases at a dangerous rate. Now, I know I'm making reference to a made-up universe, but I'm also using a lot of reference to our universe. How many people are there that are suffering because, you know, we can't accommodate our population? Now, you know, being human, we do have free will. That is our choice to do as we please and how we please. So I'm not necessarily arguing that point. My real thing is the world is a cruel and terrible place. It's really hard to disagree with Thanos in some places. Because, not to sound like that guy, but, you know, maybe we are overpopulated. Maybe there's some stuff that needs to be talked about. And I'm not talking about extermination. I'm not talking about, you know, genocide. Like, fuck that shit. I mean, is Thanos so wrong? Again, maybe they wrote the character so you can think about it. Maybe they wrote the character, you know, so you can agree with him and really not know how to feel with these two movies. Now, again, with Endgame, that changes a little bit, but still. Does Thanos have a point? But if you look at humans, we kill, we enslave, we harm each other, we fight wars. You know, even on an environmental scale, humans are the only creatures that destroy their environment and pollute. Humans are the only things really destroying Earth. We're killing the Amazon by just chopping trees down. We're constantly at war with somebody. And that's not just America, I'm talking about in the world. There's always some type of war or genocide or bad guy that has to be taken care of. I read somewhere that there's an island, it's not an island, but there's a cluster of trash somewhere in the Pacific Ocean or Atlantic Ocean. In some ocean where the cluster could be considered an island, that's how big it is, because it's nothing but plastic and everything accumulated into one finite area, you know? And I'm not trying to be preachy, I'm not doing this whole, like, live a better life thing, but I'm just saying, look at the grand scale of it all. Was Thanos wrong? I mean, again, I'm making a lot of references outside of why Thanos wants to do what he's doing, but still, I mean, if you relay it to real life now, maybe that's a point that, you know, the directors and the writers were trying to get at is, what do we do? Because yes, everyone in the end, everybody wins. Everybody comes back, you know, everything's good, but there's still the unanswered question of the problem, you know? But I don't know, YouTube. Like I said, that's kind of something that I put some thought into, and not because I'm trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be an asshole. Nor am I trying to be political. I'm not trying to be preachy. Thanos' intention wasn't to rule the universe in this timeline. It wasn't his intention to be the almighty Thanos. He, at the end of Infinity War and even the beginning of Endgame, he's retired on a planet. If you've seen Endgame, he's destroyed the stones. Like, he's living his own life somewhere. You know, I'm not justifying the action, but, you know, the Mad Titan doesn't seem so mad. A big thing to talk about is, was there a message trying to be sent? Was there something that somebody was trying to say? And I could be looking too much into that. You know, I have no problem with anybody saying, dude, you're reading too far into this movie. And you're probably right. At some point, I'm probably, like, looking too deep into shit. But YouTube, Let me know what you think. I'm not trying to be preachy again. I'm not telling people what to do or how to live their lives. That's your life, dude. Do you. You can disagree, you can agree. That's why we have the Toilet Seat Confessions. I didn't want you to break my toilet. But in all reality, YouTube, again, I took a little break because I did not like not having this. I feel like I'm recognizable with the facial hair. Again, going back to what I said last time, branding and knowing yourself. I'm not the beard guy, but I don't look the same without this, and I think anybody can say that. Like, you can look at my last video and be like, who the fuck is that? But like I said, YouTube, let me know. Send me a tweet, shoot me a Facebook chat, comment on the video. I check the comments all the time. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I half right? You know, and I did want to start off the video by showing the studio setup and the collection setup, because this was kind of a darker video. Not darker, but I guess a little more of a serious topic, and I kind of wanted to show off my stuff too. But I did want to have a little lightheartedness for the conversation. So, there we go. Thank you, YouTube, so much for taking time to check out my video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you check out the links in the description. That's my Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere you can connect with me online. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends to let them know the Awesomesauce is here to party. And as always, YouTube, here's a crisp one.